years, I've worked and lived across all parts of North Carolina, from the mountains to the coast. And that doesn't make me unique here, but one thing we may not have a lot in common with is the fact that for those 20 years, up until 2020, I consider myself an outspoken Republican voter. Yes, get it out. I deserve it. I deserve it. That's right. That's right. Today, I'm honored to be here, and I have a very important message, a special message for some of my other former Republican friends. I know that there are some in the audience. Let's hear it, guys. It's a safe space. It's a safe space. Any Haley voters for Harris? All right, all right. Conservatives for Harris? Yes, we're all a family now, but I wish I could speak to those conservative voters, those North Carolinians that are at home right now and maybe haven't quite been able to take the leap. I would invite them to today join me in putting country before party. Let's put our principles before partisanship. And stand up to support a leader who has shown unwavering dedication to bringing our country together. Of course, Vice President Kamala Harris. I still have a few more remarks. Hold on a second. So as a conservative, fiscal conservative, I feel like I made an honest mistake in 2016 when I voted for Trump. I had this illusion. It was an illusion that a successful business person might bring efficiency to the government. The flaw in the plan was that he was a failed businessman who really only cares about one thing, that's himself, and his business acumen is pretty much limited to filing bankruptcy and bullying people in court. So there went that plan. And then to add insult to injury, when Trump was in office, his extremism systematically destroyed the Republican Party, in my opinion. That's right. And now, today, as if it couldn't get any worse, we have Trump 2024, who is increasingly unhinged, unstable in his quest to fulfill his promise to become a dictator on day one. And we have him, he's even boldly talking about using the military against fellow Americans. He calls us the enemy from within. If he returns to office, now that he has basically either kicked out or, people have, yes, that's true, chosen to retire from public service, all the people that were principled, the adults in the room, if he were to get back into office, there would be no guardrails. We know what that would look like. There would be nothing to stop him from enacting that extreme Project 2025. There is hope. There is hope, and you all know what that hope is. A champion has emerged, and that is Vice President Harris. She's shown us she's going to be a president that brings us together, someone who has a to-do list, not an enemies list. She's also uniquely qualified to advocate for us, for all Americans, Kamala for the people. She's the one that's going to fight for our freedoms, including especially the ability for women to control their own bodies. This is obviously something personal to all women and men in the fact that of women's reproductive care. It's a very serious issue, and to me it's particularly personal. I have struggled with infertility and had a journey over the past 10 years. My partner Greg and I have navigated dozens of IVF procedures, surgeries, setbacks, failures, things that politicians in DC and people authoring Project 2025 could never understand. In that process, I invested not just a lot of time and a good portion of my savings, but also a lot of emotional hope streams. And in this process, I saw how legislative rules could really impact things unknowingly, like IVF and the availability of IVF. When Trump brags, he likes to brag that he is proudly the person responsible for overturning Roe and unleashing extreme abortion bans across the country. And if he is the father of IVF, and he is not, I know this because I would have seen him in some of those dozen surgeries. If he would understand that this capricious allowing of MAGA Republicans to insert themselves into these laws is absolutely going to jeopardize not just more lives and increase maternal mortality rates. It could prevent us, Greg and I, from starting the family that we desperately want to have. This is terrifying to me, and I'm counting on you, North Carolina, to help make sure this does not happen. We know there's a clear choice in this election. It's obvious even to those people that still may identify as conservatives. If you believe in policy of any kind, you've got to be for Vice President Harris, because the other guy doesn't have policy. But she's fighting. She's fighting for a new way forward, and it's going to bring us back together. She's going to fight for our freedoms, protect our democracy, grow our economy, and ensure everyone has the chance to succeed. Early voting is going on right now, and if you haven't early voted, shame on you, but the polls are open until 7:30. But I would challenge you, that's right, you have till Saturday, but do it today. Why not? I would call on, especially my former conservative friends, it's time to be proud of this choice. So make sure to tell people, I'm for Kamala. All right, so she's right back there, and she can hear you. So let's show her we're going to be the swing state that puts her over the top. I am so honored and privileged to have the opportunity to introduce her, and now your next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
back in North Carolina. Thank you all, and all the incredible leaders who are here. Thank you all, everyone, for taking time out of your busy lives to be here this afternoon. I thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank my dear friend, Governor Cooper, Roy Cooper, Attorney General Josh Stein, who will be your next governor, Representatives Nickel, Ross, Fushi, and Mayor Baldwin. I thank you all and all the leaders who are here. So Raleigh, early voting, as Jennifer said, has started. Here in Wake County, you can vote early now through Saturday, November 2nd. And we need you to vote early, North Carolina. Because we have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime. And we have work to do. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. Yes, we will. And we will win. We will win because when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And we know we have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump, who has been trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. We know that is who he is, but North Carolina, that is not who we are. That is not who we are. And it is time for a new chapter where we stop with the pointing fingers at each other and instead let us lock arms with one another, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America. And I am ready with you. I am ready to offer that leadership as the next president of the United States of America. And North Carolina, you know, I've been here many, many times over the years, and you know this. I am not afraid of tough fights. For decades as a prosecutor and as the top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights against big banks that ripped off homeowners, against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students, against predators who abused women and children, against cartels that trafficked in guns and drugs and human beings. And if you give me the chance to fight on your behalf as president, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way. And look, we know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. In less than 90 days, either he or I will be in the Oval Office. Big differences between he and I, but I would say a major contrast is this. If he is elected on day one, Donald Trump will walk into that office with an enemies list. When I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list full of priorities about what I will get done for you, the American people. And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. That will be my focus every single day as president. I will give a middle-class tax cut to over 100 million Americans. Enact the first ever federal ban on price gouging on groceries. And fight to make sure that hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live. And if you are caring for an elderly parent, my plan will cover the cost of home care under Medicare so that seniors can get the help and care they need to stay in their own homes. And my plan will lower the cost of child care, cut taxes for small businesses, and lower health care costs, because I believe health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to the financial pressures you face is the same as last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% Trump national sales tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost the average American family nearly $4,000 more a year. On top of that, you will pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and ends the Affordable Care Act, which will throw, if he were to win, which would throw millions of Americans off their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not going back. We are not going back. And we are not going back because ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And we all remember how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did. And now in America, 1 in 3 women lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban, including in North Carolina and every state in the South except Virginia. Think about that. Many with no exceptions, even for rape and incest, which is immoral. And Donald Trump, understand, he's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. He would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Just Google it. Read the plans yourself and let us agree. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government should not be making that decision for you. Not the government. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So, North Carolina, I am asking for your vote. I am asking for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As your president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge to you, I will listen to experts. I will listen to those impacted by the decisions I make and to people who disagree with me. Okay, you know, see, this is the thing, because we know we're actually fighting for a democracy. And unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans and to always put country above party and self. So North Carolina, it all comes down to this. We are here together because we love our country. That's why we are here. And when you love something, you fight for it. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism to fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. And I have always believed in our nation's, yes, and like all of us here, I have always believed in our nation's promise because I have lived it. I grew up as a child of the civil rights movement. My parents would take me to marches when I was in a stroller, where people of every walk of life came together to fight for the ideals of freedom and opportunity. I've lived the promise of America. I saw how hard my mother worked to give her daughters the same chances our country gave her. Growing up, I was blessed to have family by blood and family by love who instilled in me the values that have always defined our nation best. Values like community, compassion, and faith. I've lived the promise of America. And I've spent my life fighting for the people who have been hurt and counted out, but never stopped believing in our country that anything is possible. I've lived the promise of America. And I see the promise in all of you. In the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom. In the men who support them. In Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before but put the Constitution of the United States before party. I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. Let me see you. I love you guys, because you are rightly impatient for change. young leaders, you've only known the climate crisis and are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future. You young leaders who grew up with active shooter drills, who are trying to keep our schools safe. You who have known fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers and are standing up to fight for freedom, to make your own decisions about your own bodies. None of this for you young leaders is theoretical. This is not theoretical for you. It is not political for you. For our young leaders, this is your lived experience. And I see you, and I see your power. And I am so proud of you. Can we applaud all our first-time voters and young leaders who are here? Let's applaud them. Let's applaud them. See? Our future is bright. I'm telling you, our future is bright. So, North Carolina, we have 6 days to get this done. And no one can sit on the sidelines. So let's spend the next 6 days so that when we look back at these 6 days, we will know we did everything we could. So right now it's time to go out from here and knock on some doors. Time to text and call some voters. Time to reach out to family and friends and classmates and coworkers and neighbors. And as we do, let us please be intentional about building community. Let us please be intentional about building coalitions. Because through all of that, we strengthen our nation. Because we know and will always remember the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And we are all in this together. So remember, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. So, North Carolina, I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.